That reminded me. I'm gonna do a video on the 0-star iceberg. All right, guys. This is a 0-star iceberg. Okay, I made this just randomly. So this is based off another iceberg that I made a long time ago. This is almost like over 2-3 years ago, 1 year ago. So Jan 10th, 2022. This is an updated one. All right, and I made this in like 5 minutes. So at the top, we got 1 star just failed, 0 star. I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory, right? That's like the classic where someone's like, oh, why don't you just do 1 star if you fail DDD skip, right? Congo 627 is just legendary because he's like 2nd place, and that was the most recent world record. That wasn't Suiji's 620, right? Suiji's 620 is insane, because he got it within like a month or something. Oh my god, dude is the dude is just too good. That's the problem. He's too good. And of course, the way he did DDD skip was different in that one. We got Dowski world records. He's pretty good. He's like pretty much known for 0 and 1 star, and then a little bit of like 16. A lot of people know the time where he got both 0 and 1 star world record within the same day. That's like legendary, right? And then the last thing on the top layer is C down T right. This is just like the easiest setup you can do that isn't straight down, right? I should have put straight down over here, because that's like the classic. Straight down is like the classic DDD skip setup, because it's just like barely a setup. All right, so now we get down to another layer, right? We got Ngabori's 10x DDD skip. This is legendary because Ngabori is pretty much the most consistent DDD skip player out there right now. He's the most consistent person. But we have the 10x DDD skip leaderboards. Ngabori is 1st place with a 553, and he's just so good. He doesn't do 0 that much. He just does DDD skip. He's just a person that does DDD skip and blindfolded runs. That's like literally the 2 things he does. That's a 648, and then he does blindfolded runs. That's like his main category. So it's just 0 star. He doesn't like grind that much, even though he's the most consistent player. And then blindfolded. So that's Ngabori's 10x DDD skip. It's pretty insane. You should, everyone, honestly, if you haven't watched it, just watch it. It is so insane. It's so good, and we all wish we were like Ngabori, you know. Get lucky is just something a lot of people just say for DDD skip. I just thought I would put it up there. Just get lucky. Omega lol. Forehead. 3F is like one of the most famous setups. This is like the first setup in which it's actually a setup, right? So what 3F is just you just pause on a frame, a specific frame, in order to set yourself up for the DDD skip. So in this case, it would be this frame. It's the 3rd frame that Mario moves. And if you had the correct speed, here I don't have the correct speed, so this is not gonna work. But if you have the correct speed, then this would work, right? Now we get to Twitches. Twitches is this part of DDD skip where you're on the wall, right? And Twitches are the way that Mario moves on the wall. So if I reduce the speed a lot, you see he moves to the right really hard there, right? And so we use that information to actually tell how much speed Mario has. 3F scam is just a thing that sometimes 3-frame, even though it looks like it should work, just doesn't work. I can't really show it because it just happens like once every like 100 attempts or something for 3-frame. It just, for some reason, everything's correct, but it just doesn't work. And a poke tutorial is my tutorial on DDD skip. It's the only tutorial on the setup version of DDD skip that isn't just get lucky, right? There is a series of videos that I remember watching that goes around a kind of similar thing, but those are split up into like 15 different videos. So now we get to the underwater. We're getting to the underwater part of the iceberg. This is the top, like where if you know 0 star, you kind of know a lot of these things, but now we're getting down to the nitty gritty, you know? First up, ultimate DDD skip, right? This is a classic. You can see this in Suiji's 620. He does ultimate DDD skip in order to do DDD skip. So you just long jump on the wall until you have enough speed, and then you just go into the hallway and get it, right? This is around 1.5 to 2 seconds faster than setup is. After that, we got CJ capture. Of course, CJ capture. If you know Zero Star, you know about CJ Rocomero. You know, Rococo. I don't know how to say his name. We call him CJ. Okay, it's just CJ. But his capture is pretty funny because it's like really fucked up, right? Like, why does his Mario look like that? Like, it's even worse in Dark World. You can see it. Like, it's so bad. It's like he's recording a CRT or something. But no, this is a capture card. That's easy to capture. We got blurs. So blurs is what they call twitches in Japanese. So if you go to the Japanese DDD Skip website, they call it blurs instead of twitches for some reason. It was changed when translated to English because blurs just don't make sense. And I changed it. Marlene setup is one of the most iconic, easiest setups for people to do. Okay, this should work. Yeah, that's Marlene setup. It's really good because the range of speeds it works in is pretty wide, and the inputs aren't that precise, and so a lot of people use it. And because the range it's in is low speed, and it's easier to get low speed at the door than it is higher speeds. So a lot of people use Marlene. Now we have a Tom car setup. This is a classic one. This is one found by the one and only Tom car. You manipulate the camera in a way to get the skip by holding straight down. Like that. It's really easy. The range is massive. And a lot of people use it. We have almost 614 world record. Okay, so this is a sad moment when Suiji was grinding Zero Star for sub 620. After he got to 620, he kept going because he wanted a 615. His goal was a 615. There was a run he had that was 614 pace into the last throw for Bowser, right? And unfortunately, he missed the last throw for the world record. So this was a world record that could have been nearly impossible to beat. For the last one in this area, it is SGDQ 2015 DDD skip. This is literally, for me, this is legendary because this is the run that got me into doing Zero Star. This is where I was like, oh my god, that is so cool. I want to actually like learn that once I found this video. What this video is at GDQ, there was DDD, what's called a 0 1-star race. One of the only ever 0 1-star races to happen in a like event sort of tournament setting. This is legendary because when they get to DDD skip, check this out. So this is 2015, okay? At this time, there was no knowledge on how DDD skip actually worked other than just get lucky, right? So like people knew you had a long jump on the left of the pillar to build speed and then go to the door. There was no way to tell your speed, right? So people were just long jumping arbitrary amount of times to get to the door and then always just hold straight down and pray they got it, right? And this is a 0 1-star race, right? And so, of course, we got 360 Chrism, who's on VC, right? And we got Gamer Domi, who's on console here. And they're both going for DDD skip, presumably, right? And 360 Chrism on the left, check this out. Like, gets the speed, and it actually hits it.
Oh my goodness, dude. That is insane. That is
he actually hits the fucking DDD skip. That's so insane. Legendary moment. That's actually the video that got me into fucking Zero Star, and I was like, that is so hype. That's so insane. And this guy goes for it as well, right? But like, they're just jumping in arbitrary amount of times. Like, they have no like way to tell their speed. There's no setups. Like, it's crazy. That's so insane. So we got the DDD skip wiki. This is a classic one. This is where most of the information about DDD skip is from. So this is the site where pretty much all the known knowledge of DDD skip came from to like start, right? This is a site in Japanese, so I have to translate it, right? So this is everything that existed you know, before the goat came along here, you know, just kidding. Yeah. And yeah, pretty much this just has everything. I don't know how often they update it, but I'm pretty sure they don't update it anymore. But this has a lot of good information on it. All the things I learned was based off of this. I went through the entire site and like studied it multiple times. Fire Sea difficulty, it's Fire Sea gets a lot harder when you're on pace. That's literally what this means. When you get DDD skip, Fire Sea becomes a million times harder, right? That's just it. Pause buffer SBOJ is a way that some people do SBOJ. Most notably, Ngabori. Ngabori does pause buffer BLJ. Okay, so this is the pause buffer BLJ or SBOJ, right? He just pauses. I have no clue why he pauses, but he does. He pauses again. Whatever the fuck that was for. But, yeah, that's just no clue. Next thing is 1-star SBOJ is easier. There's a difference between 1 and 0-star SBOJ. The angle you can get on both of them is very different. On a 1-star SBOJ, when you're SBOJing, you can get a wider angle and still get the SBOJ. Because the main problem is that you have to get to the left of the pillar, right? So if you SBOJ too far, like that, too wide, you won't get to the left of the pillar. Versus a regular DDD skip SBOJ. And that's the hard part. Or just hold it up left and then you risk hitting the fence. Right. My god, we got a couple more layers, man. We gotta speed this up. Alright, we're gonna go fast through this, alright? We got the Milton curse, okay? We got the Milton curse. What this is that Milton has gotten literally 7 flat, like, 3 times or something. It is so unfortunate. Milton is right here. He's gotten 7 flat, like, 3 times. It's so sad. He's gotten 3 other 7 flats that weren't PBs. That's a curse if I've ever seen one, right? Zion 650 setup. This is gonna be a quick one. I'm gonna just show the setup. He got incredibly lucky and got DDD skip. Check this out. I guess it's an Omu setup, right? Okay, maybe it's probably some type of Omu setup. And there's even another one that I didn't put on here that Zion did in his 650 something. This is so stupid, by the way. This is gonna be the goofiest DDD skip you'll ever see in your life. 659, I think. Is it this one? Like, what is that? What is that? What is that? Literally just makes no... The fucking 9th frame setup. The 10th frame, dude. The fucking post DDD setup. Like, what is that? Alright. Zaya missed world record. This is an easy one. It's very fast. Zaya's PB right here. Missed world record by a couple hundred milliseconds. So that's pretty unfortunate, right? Ultimate is easier than setup. There's just less things to worry about ultimate, right? And so it is easier in the sense of how much things you need to learn. Cosmolongo 10x ultimate. Cosmolongo did just getting ultimate 10 times in a row. I forgot what time he got, but that's just insane. 0 star is a failed 1 star. Sometimes you go for a 1 star and then accidentally get ultimate, you know? This only really works with the ultimate, right? 4x setup is just any setup that works sub 410. All those setups are like spread apart, and usually they only work for a couple speed ranges. So there's like a setup for 404 through 406 or 407 through 409, right? But they're such a narrow range that they're not really useful, right? And so no one really uses them other than when you're in the wrong spot, right? As like a desperate last attempt. Okay, moving on to the next layer. Okay, we only got 3 more left. Alright. Camera shake setup. Okay, this is what Zyne swears by the way. Is that there's a way to tell your speed based off of how the camera shakes, right? Because Zyne doesn't know how to actually do the UD skip with air BLJs, right? And so he says he has some way to consistently get the speed with just the camera shake. And I don't know. Like, he's tried explaining it to me, and I just don't understand. Big Congo is just something that I was made up one day, in which if you learn a strat that is unnecessarily hard for little time save, it is a strat created by Big Congo in order to stop you from PBing, right? So that's what Big Congo is. Sub 644 is cursed. It's just the fact that there isn't many sub 644 runs for some reason. Like, the gap between sub 644 and the rest is insane. Like, why is this? But then above, it's just like one couple seconds. Like, why is the gap between 7 and 6 11 seconds? But the gap between 7th and 9th is 1. Like, I don't know. It's cursed somehow, okay? Ultimate only saves 1.5 seconds is real. If you get a 2-jump ultimate, it saves 1.5 seconds. You can get a 1-jump ultimate, and that saves like a lot more time. But 1-jump ultimates are so rare that I think we only have like 1 of them recorded. See, right? SBLJ, it's just another way to do SBLJ, right? So a lot of people do this for ultimate because it lines up like your camera somehow. But you can do like that. So you do SBLJ that way instead. Then we got Usumunge setups. So this is like an inside. If you practice 0 star a lot, you'll know this, but Usumunge doesn't save your position exactly. You can move Mario in the air even though there's like you're in the save state animation, right? The reason why this is like Usumunge setups is that this means that if for DD skip setups, you need to hold the direction, right? If you don't hold the direction, you lose your speed, because that's just how Mario works, right? And so that means your position might be this when you save, but when you start doing the setup to like start practicing, it's gonna move because you're holding a direction. And that little movement is enough for the setups to not work. But then there's a whole other range of setups that do work because of that. Which is pretty funny. So whenever like I find a new setup, I have to make sure that it's not Usumunge setup, because then it's not a real setup if it's only possible on Usumunge. We got the Milton curse again. I cannot tell you why it's twice. Wait, did I go over the 633 curse? Well, this is gonna be a quick one, right? But I've gotten 3 633s, and 2 of them have been babies, and 1 of them hasn't. Okay, and then that's just so crazy. Hori only setups. So there are setups that technically can only be done on Hori due to the range that Hori has. There's a lot of Hori only setups. I used to do 0 star with on Hori, and I remember having to hold really weird angles to get the same setups that OEM would get, right? If we move on, we got 11 frame. So 11 frame setup doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. but it technically could exist because 11 frame, I think, is the longest it can take for you to reach the portal and still have enough speed to hit DDD skip. 11 frame could exist, but it doesn't. Unlike 2 frame does exist. This is 2 frame. So you end up in this location and you just hold down. And if you have the correct speed, it should work. But I don't have the correct speed, so it doesn't work. But it is a real setup. There is documentation on it. Right here. Experimental setups, 2 frame. And then this is all the range it actually works in. The red, for some reason, doesn't work in. So there's like islands of instability here. Where for some reason it doesn't work in this area, but it works in this area. Now we got 100x DDD skip. This is something that Kongo did recently. Some players have done it recently. I think Parsi did one recently. And by recently, I mean like a year ago. In which you do 100 DDD skips in a row. Kongo got, I think, sub 2 hours. He got a 157, I want to say. I have no clue how you can do DDD skip for that long. So 559 tasks. There's like a human, quote-unquote human task that gets a sub 6 for 0 star. But it's like human as in, yeah, someone could do Fire CBLJ in a run. You know? Someone, you know, could do Dark World BLJ, right? And then there's Toilet Switch DDD skip. This is, Toilet's one of my friends. They got a, when Mario came out for Nintendo Switch Online, they got a DDD skip almost instantly after it came out. So they're goated. And now we're on the bottom layer. The bottom layer. Like, what the fuck is this, right? DDD skip is solved. So this is the thought that setups have peaked and setups have been solved pretty much. And the only other option is to do ultimate. Cart tilt DDD skip is the thought that maybe you could get DDD skip by tilting your cart, because you could unload the loading zone for DDD by doing that. So you could just walk through, you know? Maybe it works, I don't know. It sounds like it could. Universal setup is the true solution to DDD skip. So if DDD skip is solved, this is like, would put it in a grave, right? And pretty much have one setup for all the speeds and it would work 100% of the time. Unfortunately, we are not at all close to such a setup. And it's not that we haven't tried, it's just it is incredibly difficult to do that. The largest setups we have are like 3 frame and what, like 7 frame, I guess. 3 frame goes across this entire range. This is 20 values. And then 7 frame goes across this entire range, which is 18 values, right? Maybe one day we'll figure out a universal setup, and so we could get DDD skip all the time. 0 stars forever category. Think about this. TikTok is killing our attention spans. And so in the future, in the year 2053, people will only be playing 0 star because their attention spans will only allow them to. Think about it. It's a forever category because no one will ever quit on any percent. Like, are you really think in the future people are going to be watching an entire 120 run that's still going to be an hour and 30 or something? No, they're going to do 0. It's a forever category. So, 0 star curses consoles. I think, honestly, I just put this because I think my console is now cursed from the amount of 0 star I do. I've had so much weird shit happen to my game, as in random crashes, random, like the other day, I had a, like, pause buffering issue in which, for some reason, into throws, or into the first Bowser throw, my controller was pressing pause every other frame. Like, why did that happen? The real ultimate DDD skip. Alright. You thought you knew ultimate DDD skip. You really thought. There's an ultimate, even more ultimate DDD skip. This is the ultimate DDD skip. Alright, you know, maybe one day we just gotta get good enough to do this. You know, you don't even go on the wall. You just go straight into the fucking fire sea entrance. That's so insane. And that's the ultimate DDD skip. Lastly, we have Froz. Yeah, that's about it. I think that's self-explanatory. So that's the entire Iceberg. That's awesome. My voice is fucking tired out now. I talk so much. Yeah, now you gotta do 0 star? Exactly! That's why I made the Iceberg. To make people do 0, okay? Or, not make people. To allow them to do 0. Alright?